Hi everybody, Mr. Colford here, and today we're going to be running through the Multiview Drawing Fusion 360 assignment. This is our basic walkthrough, and so this assignment isn't worth very much. It's just worth 10 points, but it does give you a thorough understanding of what it takes to create a multiview drawing from a part. Now, for this, you don't actually have to do the part. The part is actually designed for you. So if you want to click on the link right here, it'll take you to another website. And on this website, it'll have you download it, but it'll require that you put this password in right here. So the CHS 2020 password. So just go ahead and copy that, paste it in here when it downloads, and then there we go. So CHS 2020, hit enter, and there we go. So I'm not going to save that. I don't need to. Once you've got it here, you can either download it for the Fusion 360 archive, which is probably the best way to do it, or you can just open it straight up into Fusion. Now, I've already got mine downloaded, so I'm going to go over here to Fusion. And if I click open my panel right here, you'll see that I have it downloaded right here. It's just my basic U bracket. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up by double clicking it. It's going to pull it up in my active window, and then I can just go ahead and get rid of my panel over here off to the side. So while we're working through this, I would encourage you to take a look at some of the items in this as we walk through it. Here are all the instructions and descriptions. And this is all fairly simple stuff. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to shoot me an email about this. But let's go ahead and start. So in this, we're going to create a drawing from a part. We're going to place dimensions on the drawing. We're going to edit the details of the title block, and then we're going to place the midpoints and center points. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to head over here to Fusion 360. And now that I have this opened up, I want to go over to my workspace. So I'm going to change my workspace from design to drawing. Now with drawing, I want to select from design. So I'm going to select from design. It's going to highlight the design that I currently have up, and it's going to ask me if I want to create this. Everything in this box right here should look like this. I do want to create it in inches. I want the sheet size to be B. The drawing is created from scratch, and just make sure that your create drawing window has all of this as well, and then click OK. Now the program's going to think about this for a little bit, and it's going to move and shift some things around, and then it's going to create the actual drawing. So the multi-view drawing, as we've learned from the past, it usually includes a front view or a side view or a top view, whatever has the most amount of information to deliver to other people who are either creating this from scratch or if they're 3D printing it. So now we see our drawing up here, and if I go over to the browser window, I can open up some of these other options here. So under document settings, I see that I can change my font, I can change the height of some of my things, the way that the dimensions pop up, and then the line width. Under sheet, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Under sheet settings, you'll see the sheet size B and the title blocker here. You can edit these if you want to. We can change the title block from this corner to this corner or this corner, pretty much wherever you want to place it. Now, I just accidentally placed my parent view over here off to the side, and I didn't want to do that. If you happen to do that, you can always get the parent view back just by clicking on the base view. All right, so it should look something like this. If I hover over the empty space, I'm going to see the front view of my object. Now, it's really small on this paper, and I want it to be 1:1, so I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to select the 1:4, and I'm going to change it to 1:1. You'll automatically see that get a little bit bigger there. So I want to choose another space in here. I want to make sure that I have enough space to place this part. I'm just going to place it off to the side here and do a single click, and then it's going to anchor it to my paper. So once it's anchored, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and that turns it into the part that I'm looking for. So it's transparent, so I can see the holes going through it. I can see all the angles and everything else, and yeah, that's exactly what I want it to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some additional views on there. So I want the top view, and then I also want my isometric view on there as well. So now I'm going to come up here to projected views. I'm going to click on this, and it wants me to select the parent view. And this right here, my front view, is the parent view. So I'll click on that, and I'll hover just above it. And that'll go ahead and place my part right there. Now it's all pixelated, and it doesn't look very good, but I can just leave it there. And then I want to hover over to the top right-hand corner, just off to the side there, and that'll give me my isometric view. Now, there are a couple of isometric views, like this is the side view, this is the bottom isometric, and then we've got off to the right, off to the left, but this is the most traditional one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click there, and then I can either click this green check mark right here, or I can right click and click OK. And that just places all of my parts into this paper. Now for this part, I'm going to want to change this, alter it just a little bit. So I'm going to double click on it, and that's going to bring up the drawing view. I'm going to move this over a slight bit so I can actually just see this. And this is different from the views that I have currently. I don't want to be able to see through it. And so under style, right now it's with all of the edges. So it has all the edges and hidden lines and everything else. And I don't want to see those. In fact, I want this to be as real as possible. So I'm going to choose this option right here, which is shaded. So I'll go ahead and click on shaded. It'll modify it and turn it into that. And there you go. So that's it. I'll go ahead and close that, and then I'll recenter my paper. Now, the cool thing about this is if I click on the parent view here and I move it off to the side, the top view is going to follow it. So the parent view is the anchored view. It's the view that really doesn't adjust at all. So I'm also going to drag this down a little bit and provide a little more space between there. Now, this is always going to align with the one on the bottom. Because this is designed in the same way, if I were to move or shift this over off to the side here, it wouldn't align with the other object, and so it wouldn't really be a multi-view. So there are a couple of things on here that I want to do. I do want to add my center points, my center lines to this, but I also want to put my dimensions on here. So the center points and the center lines are pretty simple. Here's my center mark. I'm going to grab that. And I just want to go through and I want to select all of my holes. And all I really have to do is just click on the outside of it. Now, these three are obvious holes, but this one right here is a hole that you do have in your part, but it's not as noticeable because it's only an arc. And so I'm going to click on that as well. And all it does is adds this little center point to the drawing, and that's all I really need from there. Okay, now my center line. So my center line, there are a couple of things that I can use this for. This is to indicate the middle of a circle as it goes through the part. Just make sure that it's clear to the person looking at it that it goes all the way through. And so on this drawing, you'll notice the two hidden lines right here, and that indicates that this is a hole that travels through the entire part. And so to place this one, all I would need to do is click one side and then the other side, and it adds the line through it. The other thing that I use this center line for is to make sure that the person viewing this knows that all three of these circles align together, meaning they're on the same plane. And so to do this, all I need to do is select the first surface and then align it to the next one. Whoops, I clicked on the wrong one. There we go. Let's try this again. And this time I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I click the center of my first circle, and then I click the center of my second circle. And you'll notice that that little line pops up right there. Now I'm going to do the same thing here for the middle of this one and the middle of that one. And there we go. That completes it. So now I have a center line going through, indicating that those all align together and that this one aligns together as well. Now you'll also notice that I have 3 hidden holes in the side view. I also need to apply it to this. And so I can apply it like that, but there is also another way that I can apply these as well. And it just simply goes through and in fact, I'm just going to get rid of that one right there. I can actually select that. You know what? There we go. Okay. And we can track it just like that, just like we did with the center points here. It just basically travels up through the entire part. And then the last one here, just going to go ahead and select that, and we're good to go. Okay, so now that I'm done with my center points, my center lines, now we get to go ahead and move on to applying dimensions. Now, dimensions, there are a couple of different ones that I can choose from, but I really just like my basic dimension tool. So in this one, it's pretty simple because I really only have a couple of measurements that I need to, or dimensions that I need to place on here. And the first one is this outside radius. So just click here and then click off to the side, and that places it with the radius of 1. And for this one, I'm going to kind of put it close to that one, but this one here is going to be a diameter. Now, we've talked about this before, but we always need to make sure that we place dimensions outside of the actual physical object. And so I want to place this one, and the easiest place to put it would be right here, but that's on the object, and it's not going to be as easy to see it. And so I'm going to drag it down outside of the part and place it down here. Now, the other rule that we need to abide by is we can never apply a dimension to hidden lines unless there's no other option. For this, there is an option. I can go ahead and apply it to these two, so I am. I'll place that one there and that one there. So it's kind of centralized in a standard location. And then I don't have to apply the dimension between these two hidden lines here. Okay, the next one that I need to place in here is the overall width from this one to this one here, from circle to circle. So I'm going to click the center of both of my circles, and then I'm going to drag this up because I do have a couple of dimensions to put on there. So there's the first one, and then I also need to detail what that dimension is from one of those holes to the middle hole there. Okay, and then the last dimension that I need to place on here is the overall width or the depth. Whoops. That was my bad. Go ahead and put this on here. So this one to this side, and then I'm going to place this out to the outside right there. Okay, and that is it. That's all I really need to do on that. All of my dimensions are in place now. With that, the only one that I need to place in here is the overall width right there. And that's it. So with those basic dimensions, now I'm fully dimensioned, and I can hit escape and deactivate that tool. And then I can work on relocating some of these as well, just kind of tightening them up and making them look good. Now, the unique thing about this drawing view is that we're really trying to communicate the most information to the people who are going to use it. And so we need to make sure that it looks good. It can't just be all jumbled up with all the numbers overlapping each other and making it difficult to see. Always make sure that if we select the top and the bottom here, on the dimension line, you'll notice a gap between the two, and that just indicates to the engineer that's reading this information that that's the thickness there between the two. If we were to select these 2 points right here and then put the dimension over on this side, it would actually have a solid line going through all of this and then placing it over here, and we don't want that. Okay, so this is what it should look like when it's finished. Now we need to work on the title block. So let's zoom in here to the title block. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hover my mouse over the title block, and I'm going to double click it. So after I double click it, I can actually select each one of the parts that I want to edit. Now for this one, I'm going to go ahead and edit the project and the title, but that should be all that I edit. Okay, so in place of this admin project, or the project that I'm currently doing, I'm going to replace this with creating drawings, CHS 2020. Whoops. Go. And then I'm going to go ahead and move on to this one. So the title U bracket is totally fine, but my title number 2 needs to be changed. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to type in my name, Mr. Calford. For yours, you're going to type in your own name. And then we go to title number 3. So under title number 3, I'm going to type in Intro to Engineering Design, Fall of 2020. And there we go. So now I've got my Intro to Engineering Design, Fall of 2020, my name, the title of my part that's up here, and then the project, which is titled Creating Drawings CHS 2020. And that's it. That's all I need to do. Once I'm finished with that, I just click on Finish Properties, and we're good to go. So for this assignment, this is kind of what it should look like, and you can modify it a little bit to balance it out if you need to. For what we're doing here, this should be the basic look that you're going for. Okay, so let's talk about how to submit this once you finished it. So what I want you to do is go ahead and save it. And what we're going to save this as is the U bracket drawing, just as it has drawn up here. Go ahead and save that. Then what I want you to do is I want you to go to File, and I want you to go to Print. Now, if you go to Print, there are a couple of things that you can do with this. You can select the sheet. You can select a printer. You can have the line weights on there. What I want you to do is select the type of printer, and I want you to change it to Microsoft Print to PDF. Now, we only really have one sheet, so I just want you to select the selected sheet as it is, and then go ahead and click on Print. Now, in the assignment, it'll say that it needs to be submitted as a PNG, but on Classroom, it's going to be required to be turned into a PDF. So we have the PDF here. Just go ahead and save this to your OneDrive with the same name, which is U bracket drawing. Whoop. That's it. Once you've done that, go ahead and submit it to Classroom, and you're good to go. So once you've downloaded this, make sure that you submit it to Canvas. Just select the PDF and submit it. It will only select, or it will only allow you to download PDFs or upload PDFs. Now, just like we did with a file, and we went through Print, you can also do that by going up here to Output. If I click on Output, it'll have me doing pretty much the same thing, and it'll only give me another option of exporting it and opening it up as a PDF once it's finished. Since I've already done the PDF, I'm just going to go ahead and hit cancel on that, but that is another easier solution rather than going the roundabout way of printing it and then pulling it up and doing all that good stuff. So that's it. Once again, if you have any questions whatsoever with this assignment, you can send me an email at dacalford@dsdmail.net. And good luck.